back here on AB Conversation. Now I don't have my headphones on. This is a weird day, Ben.
Yeah, you usually have your headphones on, and even when I say something, what?
I'm out of it today. I first off, I can't speak today. That's number one. Number two, I forgot what number two is, so that shows you how off I am.
So number three.
Number three is I didn't even have my headphones on when we came back to you guys. So it has been. I think it's just been a long day.
Yeah.
Time to get some grub, watch some TV.
So let's do this segment.
Probably do some homework.
Oh,
that's gonna.
Well. Let's get to the segment.
Yeah, because Ben Zeno and Anthony Carlo are still with you on this Tuesday night.
So Anthony said last segment it had to deal with Mayweather. So Anthony, let's talk about these dandelions.
Did I mean the weather in May? Or did
I don't know, because you said it. You said it. What are we talking about?
What we are talking about is possibly the biggest fight ever.
Ever?
Now, I disagree with that statement.
Ever?
I disagree with that statement, but apparently this fight is going to shatter every revenue record in existence. So as much as I want to go and say, come on, give me a good old Thriller in Manila with Muhammad Ali and Joe Frazier. As much as I want to say, come on, Tyson Holyfield. No. I mean, statistically, if this fight makes as much money as they say it's going to make, then no. This will be surpassing all of those fights.
Now, what fight are you talking about?
Well, yeah, let's introduce the fight. Manny Pacquiao and, of course, Floyd Money Mayweather have agreed to fight on May 2nd in Las Vegas.
MGM Grand.
And this fight is going to pin two of the greatest fighters in their divisions up against each other to basically see who is going to reign supreme. Now, the fight is expected to generate $250 million in pay-per-view revenue.
That's just pay-per-view.
And that basically wipes out the previous record of $150 million set by Mayweather's 2013 bout with Canelo Alvarez.
That was a good fight.
The Mayweather-Pacquiao fight is also going to overthrow the record of 2.5 million pay-per-view buys, which Mayweather set with Oscar De La Hoya in 2007.
7.
So, is this Money Mayweather or what? This is Money Mayweather.
This dude, if you follow boxing, you should only know these two names. The sport of boxing is dead. Well, if this sport brings it back to life, then the hand is coming up. Oh, I'm not dead. You know, don't close it. Don't dig the dirt in. No.
That was beautiful. That was maybe one of the best analogies of the year. Right there.
Appreciate that.
Because we haven't had one in a while.
I gave one last week.
You did.
Don't get it twisted. This was also a good one.
But we used to have multiple per show.
It's just whatever comes to the noggin.
That's why I may feel as if we haven't had one in a while, even though you did give one last week, I remember. But that was perfect because Ben just illustrated the sport of boxing, and its decline to the point where it's at a basic. It's basically at. Here we go. See, as soon as I say we don't have analogies, we get a bunch.
Let's get it.
Here we go. So you know the heart monitors. You know when the lines are scrolling up and down. Yeah, based on heartbeats. Well, it's almost flatlined, but it's still a little kick up and now again, a little kick. So that little kick, and may turn into a big kick, is this Pacquiao Mayweather fight. It's keeping the sport alive on a respirator. Clear. Enough hospital analogies right now.
All right, so in this fight, to many people, was heightened 5 years ago. These two boxers are not the same from 5 years ago. Now, if this fight happened 5 years ago, this would have been the best fight of all time. But now, these players are way past their prime.
That's true, and there's doubts about whether Mayweather is quick enough to take on Manny Pacquiao, because we know that speed is one of the deadly arsenal tools of Manny Pacquiao. Now, Mayweather Jr. is 38 years old, still undefeated, 47 fights and no losses. And his last fight was 2008, 6 months after defeating Ricky Holton. And then after that, after the TKO, he announced his retirement from boxing.
Anthony, if you need help with this Floyd Mayweather situation from 5 years ago, I'm going to take over.
Go ahead.
If this fight was heightened 5 years ago, I'm going to tell you what happened since the 5 years. Shane Mosley in 2010, Floyd Mayweather won. Victor Ortiz 2011, also with that sucker punch fund. They touched jab, they touched fist, but then Floyd went boom, he sucker punched him. Then 2012, he defeated Cotto. In 2013, he defeated another person, and then 45 was Canelo. His 45th victory was against Canelo Alvarez in 2013, and Maidana 1 and 2 both in 2014.
Maidana, yeah, Marcus Maidana.
Yeah, and for Manny Pacquiao, let me tell you this: he won against Cotto in 2010, defeated Margarito in 2010 as well. Shane Mosley in 2011, Marquez in 2011. We also have he lost to Timothy Bradley and another boxer in 2012, so 2 losses in a row. But after that, he came with three straight victories against Rios, Bradley, and Algiera.
So that's the tale of the tape right there from Benzino, and both of these fighters obviously are the two top fighters in the game right now. They are keeping the lifeline in boxing right now, and they will square off with basically a prediction of, I think many people are going to say that Pacquiao has the quickness on Mayweather, and I think that Manny Pacquiao has the ability to throw his hands very quickly.
Mm-hmm.
He's a deadly assassin, if you will. He will dance and he will throw. But these two fighters, I mean, this is going to be a hell of a fight.
Of course, 2 top people of the sport of boxing are going at it.
Now to purchase this fight on pay-per-view, it's going to be close to $100 to purchase the fight.
I ain't purchasing. I don't know about you. I ain't purchasing. I ain't purchasing that fight.
I wanted to purchase it, but that is crazy. So it should be good for the sport of boxing, like we said. This is what boxing needs.
Yes.
This is what boxing needs desperately. It's managed to hang around all these years, but really it hasn't been here. I mean, It's been hanging around technically, but it really hasn't been a prominent sport. Everybody will be watching this fight, though, so we will keep our eyes on it.
Yes.
I'm sure we'll get into a little deeper analysis as it gets closer. We'll break down why each fighter we think will win and whatnot. Because boxing, I love boxing. I don't think we should abandon it on this show.
Nah, we do. We do talk about boxing. Don't get it wrong. We had Santiago, our second show.
We did have Santiago.
He sparred.
We got to bring him back to talk about this fight.
We will.
Because Santiago, I believe, was in the ring with Marcus Maidana.
Oh no, he sparred with
Canelo Alvarez.
No. The Italian guy from Brooklyn. I forgot his what's his name? I forgot.
It's something like Prigioni or something like that.
Oni. It ends with an Oni.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll get another expert.
We'll get Santiago,
a real expert.
We'll get Santiago, our boxing expert, back in here.
But this fight is May 2nd.
What about the fight coming up this week?
What fight?
What about round 2 of the Mac's biggest rivalry?
Oh, you right. You are right.
We have a fight, if not something to hold us over till Mayweather-Pacquiao.
Yeah.
We're going to have a slugfest right here at the very own Heinz Athletic Center.
And we ain't talking about St. Peter's.
No.
We ain't talking about St. Peter's.
No. We're talking about the Jaspers.
Of Manhattan.
The Manhattan Jaspers.
Riverdale.
They are coming in at 15-12, 12-6 in the MAC. Believe they are still in 4th place. Taking on the juggernaut of the Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference, the Iona Gales, coming off of a heated win over Monmouth.
Yeah, I heard about that.
That came down to the buzzer. 23-6 the Gales are, 16-2 in the MAC. Now the Gales in their last contest against the Jaspers defeated them at the Jaspers' home, Dratty Gymnasium, in front of a raucous crowd if I've ever seen one.
But Anthony got through it. At the end of the day, we got that reporting.
End of the day, we had that stand-up done. But now it's the Jaspers' turn. Now the Gales, you could argue the Gales did the the hardest part of it all. They went to Manhattan and they beat Manhattan at Manhattan.
That's just heart right there.
Yeah, in front of their fans in a very
get them out of there.
Very tight game. Now, Ben, you could say it's not going to be as hard now to play in front of their home crowd and welcome Manhattan into this intense environment and win both regular season matchups this year.
Well, you mentioned the six borough of the Manhattan Jasper fan base, but after the Monmouth game, I was not at the game, but I heard Tim Kluse saluted the crowd.
He did.
So shout out to the Iona faithful, the Iona student body, whoever roots for Iona, because they were down big. They were down 14 at one point during that game, but the crowd was still in it. I heard. Shout out to Sean Edwards. He's told me everything that happened.
There was a point where the Gales, I believe, were down 16 in the game. So they made up a 16-point deficit, and Tim Kluse, A.J. English, David Laurie, all credited the Maroon Maniacs with the win. Believe it or not, they gave the win to the Maroon Maniacs.
Shout out to the Maniacs.
They said if they were not there and yelling at the opposing team when they were down 16, when the Gales were down 16 points, and waving their hands and standing behind Iona throughout that game, when they could have got up and left and thought it was a blowout, that is exactly why Tim Kluse credited the Maniacs with the win.
And shout out to Kenny Reichman. He's one of the main Maniacs.
He is my broadcast buddy, Kenny Reichman, our broadcast buddy.
And dude Greg up there. He be doing them things.
Greg is also a leader. So we know that the Maniacs will shower the Jaspers with some love, so to speak, this weekend. But as far as on the hardwood goes and the actual play, I mean, the Gales come in with two of the best scorers, not only in the MAC, in the country. A.J. English.
There's 50 states in the country.
There's 50 states, and they go up against, we want you to get a sense of the expansion, the perspective we're putting this in. We're talking about Jahlil Okafor. We're talking about some of the best NBA prospects in the nation.
D'Angelo Russell.
The Harrison twins.
Yep, Aaron and Andrew.
Of Kentucky. And we are dealing with A.J. English and David Laurie in that same conversation. Because even though if you want to argue, it's the MAC, it's not the same, the competition's different, there's no NBA talk about them.
Numbers don't lie.
Numbers, exactly.
They got scouts coming to Hines.
Exactly. The statistics say that David Laurie's number 1 in the MAC in scoring, and he was, last time I checked, number 10 in the nation in scoring. And A.J. English for a while was top 20 in the nation in scoring. They're the only team in the nation to have 2 top scorers in top 20.
And that's where? Where these players play?
Iona
College, yeah.
Iona College. So that's my reasoning of why exactly the Gales are the stronger team this year than Manhattan. And don't ever count the Jaspers out.
Andujar's a problem.
Andujar is a problem. Shane Richards, he can drill a 3 and have ice in his veins as quick as you could say hi.
He killed him last year.
Yeah,
I ain't gonna lie, he killed Iona last year.
At the drop of a hat, he'll hit a bucket. He'll drain a 3 that will change the game. He will change the game. So don't underestimate Manhattan. But their whole game, and I've always read them this way, they don't go by one star. Last year, you can argue they had that one star, Ramel Brown, George Beeman.
Beeman to score, yeah.
He's playing professionally now. I mean, you could say that they got that tournament bid because of some big names. But this year, it is certainly not the case. They play well together as a team. They're pesky. They play great defense. As Masiello said, they force other teams to play to their game, and they push the tempo. They control the game by playing well together. The Gales, on the other hand, they can give you the kiss of death if they get hot with the 3.
Yes.
And if AJ and Laurie and Cedric Casimir start hitting their buckets, the offensive firepower can just kiss the night goodbye.
We're previewing this game, I believe Ryden Hines have to come up big for the Gales.
I agree with you.
This would be a perfect opportunity going into the MAC tournament if Ryden Hines has this game of playing solid defense and scoring the ball. That's huge for the Gales. And also, are the Gales? No, excuse me, that's terrible English. Have the Gales lost a game this year at the Hines?
They have not.
They have not.
Undefeated. So they'll put that record to the test when the Jaspers come in. Never count the Jaspers out because they can win big games. Iona won all last year, and then when it came time for the MAC championship, to give that bid to whoever was going to punch their ticket to the tournament, the Jaspers showed up.
Yes.
So don't count them out. I'll tell you one thing. It'll be a 3-point game. The game will finish again like the last one at Draddy within 3 points, maybe even smaller margin, maybe 1 or 2 points. And the difference will be made by who makes less errors. That's where it comes down to for me. Of course, one player has to step up. The last game, both teams went back and forth. And every time Manhattan scored, Cedric answered the bell with a 3.
Good.
He answered the bell with a 3. So whoever turns the ball over less. Now, take this into consideration. The Jaspers, statistically, in the last game, played a terrible game.
Ooh.
They shot, I believe, 30% from the field.
Ooh.
And they lost the game by 3 points.
That's, Iona got to hone that.
Iona took care of them in every stat category, and they lost the game by 3 points. So that means if Iona makes too many mistakes here,
they might lose
the Jaspers can easily muscle through and grit one out and win the game.
I didn't know that statistic. Wow.
I know there are a few categories that Iona dominated, and the Jaspers still only lost the game by 3 points.
Nice pink shirt. I didn't know the Chicago. I really did not know the Chicago shirt.
Whatever the margin was, I believe it was a 3-point margin. But the point is, it'll be a good game.
Yes, Friday, 7 p.m. at the Heinz. Don't forget to check out Spelman, 12 o'clock. My guy, Kenny Reichman, Ian Sachs, Kevin Walsh, they're going to do their own version of that college game day. So, in Spelman, I don't know where in Spelman, but as the Iona faithful, you should know where Spelman is. And if not, that's very disappointing. It's the building with the pillars. The nice pillars, too.
And stay tuned. Make sure you come to the game, because at halftime, there is talks of a special piece going up on the Jumbotron that features this face in it, as well as Ken Reichman. It's a little treat. We'll give you a hint. It's a spin-off of some SportsCenter type stuff.
All right.
But I will not give it away. You better show up. If you don't show up for the Gales or the Jaspers, show up for Anthony Carlo and Benzino and Ken Reichman.
Yeah. So, AB Conversation will be back at it Tuesdays, nightcap, 6:30 to whenever we want to go off. But right now, we're going to go off, Anthony. Anthony had a long day. I had a long day. The viewers, you can watch this anytime on YouTube.com. Type in that AB Conversation, or if you didn't catch it on Ustream. And shout out to Jiggity and his shows with Brendan and Sean. We out here making moves. WICR as a whole. Thank you.
Thank you, Ben. Good night, everybody.